guys, I'm going to do this extra practice with you. If you have any questions, always feel free to email. So this is write the inequality, which is really harder than what it's going to be on the test, because on the test it would be multiple choice. But the idea would be that I'm going to start with y, and then I'm going to use mx plus b just because it's easier to write an equation that way if I have the slope and the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is -1. And the slope is definitely positive, and it looks like it's going up 3 and right 2. So that's going to be an x. And of course, the pen's not going to cooperate, but it is what it is. Okay, so that's that. So now it's basically what inequality symbol do I have? So it's definitely a less than symbol because it's shaded below. And then there is no equal bar because the line is dotted. And then I would double check this using my calculator. So just put it in your calculator, look at your calculator, look at the picture on the paper, and just make sure you're right. Okay? All right, so for the function, the f of x equals the absolute value of x subtract 4 plus 7. So basically, this has to do with like where is the vertex. So you can use your calculator and you'll find that the vertex is at +4, +7. So again, you can put that into your calculator. Since the vertex is at +4, +7, that would be 4 to the right. And again, you can use your calculator and 7 up. Okay, and usually the word that we use with that is shift. Okay, so a shift of 4 to the right and 7 up. Okay, for the function f of x equals, find f of 3. So what that's saying is that x is 3. So again, you can use your calculator or you can do substitution. I'm just going to use substitution. But again, you can use your calculator. And basically, 3 minus 2 is 1, and 1 plus 7 is 8. So the answer is 8. But you can use your calculator. And on the calculator, you can just do 3 store as x and then type in the function. Okay? 3 store as x and type in the function. Okay. For the function defined by. So this is piecewise, which means you have to figure out which piece you're using. So when x is 1, I would be using this first piece here because 1 is less than 2. And I'm looking at this part of the function, okay? So since 1 is less than 2, I'm going to use that part. So I substitute a 1 in place of the x, and I just calculate my answer. And again, use the calculator. Okay, now when x is 2, I'm actually going to use this part because 2 is equal to 2, and it would make that inequality true. So that gives me 5, subtract 3 times 2, which again is -1. Okay. This thing is a function. You can use the graphing calculator. It is a little bit harder because it's in 2 pieces. So you have to know which piece to use when. Okay? All right. For the function defined by, all right, what type of circle? Okay. So if I put in a 4 and I get out a 1, that's this piece. So that's going to be an open circle. If I put in a 4 and I get out a -3, that's going to be this piece, and that's going to be a closed circle because it has the equal bar. And again, that has to do with the inequality symbols. Like, how would you graph that inequality? If I was graphing the first inequality on a number line, it would look like that. If I was graphing the second inequality on a number line, it would look like that. Okay? These would not be done on a number line because these are linear equations. So like x minus 3 would be, well, actually it looks like that for you guys because everything's opposite, positive slope. Okay. According to the graph shown, find the value of f of 1. So I just have to go to 1 and find the value. Remember, anything in the parentheses is the x. So the value of that is 0. Okay. Is the mapping diagram a representation of a function? No, I'm sorry, it's not. The problem is 2 is a little cheater. It's going to both A and B. and that's not allowed in a function. Okay. All right, graph the function. So you can put it straight into the calculator if you want. And what you want to get is a table of values with at least 5 points. Okay. I'm going to use this here to help me. I always put my vertex in the middle. And again, you can use your calculator to help you find the vertex, or you can use the H comma K. Okay. Now, once I get my table of values, I'm just going to go a little bit smaller and a little bit bigger. And again, you can use the graphing calculator. Okay. So this is my vertex. I guess I have to get new pens. And then this is an increasing function, so it's going to look like that. Okay. So I've got -5, -2. Oops, sorry. All right. And I'm going to try to draw this really nice for you. Kind of didn't work out, but it's okay. All right, so the domain would be both infinities because it has double arrows, so it goes on forever in both directions. Double arrows, double infinity, however you want to think of it. Okay, the range. So this turning point down here is a minimum, okay? So that means the lowest y is going to be is -2. And you can write it like that, or you can write it like that. Okay? Here we go. Calculate the average rate of change from 2 to 5 seconds. So I want 2 and I want 5. And average rate of change, we're going to use the slope formula. So we're going to use y2 minus y1. And remember, this is on the reference sheet if you forgot it. x2 minus x1. Okay? So we can use our reference sheet whenever we want. It's your reference sheet. Okay, so y minus y, x minus x. And then you just put that in your calculator, okay? Oh, alpha x gives me the fraction, 7.88 subtraction 3.56 over 5 subtraction 2. Enter. 1.44. The 1.44 should make sense to you because it looks like the function is increasing. Okay, graph. Now, you can graph this without putting it in y equals form. If you choose, you just have to get at least 2 points. But I'm going to put it in y equals form. Okay? So I'm going to subtract 4x from each side. And the reason I'm subtracting the 4x is because in the original equation, the 4x is adding. So it's always the opposite. Be careful when you copy that 6y. It's actually a -6y. Okay, now I'm going to divide by -6. And I'm running out of room, so I'm going to just go, I don't know where I'm going to go. I'm going to go, down here. Y dividing by a negative. Flip the sign. 2/3 of an x, subtraction 2. So -2, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. And again, you can use your calculator, okay? So this is going to be a dotted line because there is no equal bar in the inequality symbol. And it does say is greater than, so I'm going to shade above. However, you can double check this with your calculator. Name one point in the solution set. So that means anything in the shaded area. So I'm going to just use 0, 5, but you can use any point in the shaded area. And then name a point out. I'm just going to be real dramatic and go way far away. So I'm going to 10, -3. Okay. I would try to stay away from near the line because what if you graphed slightly off? Okay. Maddie. Okay. I have to, let's see. Can I move this? No, I don't know how to move that. All right. All right. So Maddie is walking from home to lacrosse practice. And he walks at a steady but slow pace since he's talking on his phone. And my face is in the way. It takes him 6 minutes to walk 3 blocks. So 6 minutes, 3 blocks. He's walking from home at a steady pace, so as straight as you can make it. He sees his friend Charles and decides to wait for Charles. He waits for 4 minutes. So when you're waiting, you're standing still so your distance doesn't change. So he waits for 4 minutes. 6 minutes plus 4 minutes makes 10 minutes. Okay. Together they walk the rest of the way to practice. They walk at a rate of 2 blocks for 3 minutes for 9 minutes total. So 2 blocks, 3 minutes. 2 blocks, 3 minutes. 2 blocks, 3 minutes. So for a total of 9 minutes. So here he finally gets to practice. Okay, remember rate's going to indicate slope. So the slope is of that piece, that third piece is 2/3. Okay. All right, so this one. This is going to be the take-home part of the test just to make your life easier. It's really not as hard as it appears. You just kind of have to think of it as 3 separate pieces. So I'm going to do my first piece in purple, and maybe that'll help you, okay? So my first piece, I'm going to use the 2x subtract 4. And what this is saying up here is that x's are less than -3. So I'm just going to think of some numbers that are less than -3. I'm going to use -6, -4, and -3. And you just pick any numbers that are less than -3. And then you substitute them into the equation that you have, and you just plot some points. Okay? So this point I chose was not a really great point because it's not going to fit on my graph, but the answer to that is -16. The answer to that is -12. The answer to that is -10. So it's not going to be that great, but it's okay. So I'm going to go to -3, -10. And I'm just going to make a circle. And my circle is going to be open because there's no equal bar here by the inequality. All right. So this is kind of a bad sketch, but that's what it would look like. Okay. Now I'm going to use the number 2 from -3 to 2. So basically that means the answer is 2. Okay. And we generally call that a horizontal line. All right. I was going to change color, but I don't think I have to because 2 is here, -3. And that's a closed circle because it has the equal bar. And then that's another closed circle because it has the equal bar. Okay, last piece. I'm going to use x's that are 2 and bigger. 2 and bigger because x is greater than 2. So that's going to give me 2, 2. And again, you can use your calculator to get points. 0, and I'm going to sneeze. Oh gosh, -2. That's kind of weird. All right, so 2, 2, it actually is going to connect. And then 3, 0 here. And 4, -2. Okay, so it's going to have an arrow because it goes on forever. So it's not that great of a picture. Probably should have written a better question, but that's what it's going to look like. If you need any help, just shoot me an email and I can try to make you some more videos. All right, have a great day.